Most companies still believe that security means preventing attacks. However, this is the wrong approach. Attacks are already happening. They are faster, more automated, and more scalable. The real question is no longer if you will be attacked. Rather, the question is, can you prove what is true after the fact? This is exactly where EaglePMX comes in. Today, AI can identify security vulnerabilities faster than humans can. That sounds like progress, and it is, for both sides. For instance, Google used an AI named Big Sleep to identify a vulnerability in SQLite. Not in a lab. Rather, it was found in an active system used worldwide. The vulnerability was patched before it could be exploited. That's the good news. However, a different question is more relevant. How many vulnerabilities have already been discovered but not patched? By the time defenders start using such systems, attackers have already taken that step. The problem is no longer that vulnerabilities exist. The problem is, you no longer know which vulnerabilities have been found and by whom. For EaglePMX, this is precisely the starting point. You can no longer assume that you will detect attacks early enough. Rather, you must assume that you will not know which vulnerabilities have already been discovered and by whom. In the industry, people still talk about AI as a support tool. However, the reality is quite different. AI has long operated independently. A system called XBOW has reached the top spot on HackerOne. HackerOne is the world's largest platform for real-world vulnerability reports. This isn't a test. It's a market with financial incentives. This means AI is now competing with attackers. AI is now part of the attack model. When vulnerabilities can be found automatically, something fundamental changes. Attacks scale, not linearly, but exponentially. For EaglePMX, this means it's no longer about whether someone finds a vulnerability. It's about whether you can reconstruct what happened afterward. $25 million. One phone call. No hacking. Company Arup fell victim to a deepfake attack. The CFO wasn't real. The participants weren't real either. Only the victim was real. The problem isn't the technology. The problem is that many security models are based on a false assumption. If I can see it, it's real. Those days are over. Identity can be manipulated. Communication can be manipulated too. For EaglePMX, this means you can no longer rely on people. You must be able to rely on verifiable data. Some attacks are undetectable by firewalls. Prompt injection is one such example. In this type of attack, AI systems are manipulated using seemingly harmless content. This content can be documents, emails, or websites. The system processes this content and makes unauthorized decisions. OWASP classifies prompt injection as one of the greatest risks for large language model (LLM) applications. Why? Because these attacks don't occur at the perimeter, but rather inside the system. This is exactly where traditional security no longer applies. For EaglePMX, this is of critical importance. When decisions are no longer traceable, you lose control. Most data doesn't leave companies as a result of attacks. It leaves through usage. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Employees work with data that isn't monitored, approved, or visible. This is exactly what led to the data leak at Samsung. The source code was simply entered. Studies show that about 11% of this data is sensitive. The problem isn't the behavior. The problem is you can't see it. For EaglePMX, this means you need systems that work regardless of where the data goes. The EU AI Act finally brings long-awaited regulation. Risk assessments, audits, traceability. Many view this as a legal issue. That's a mistake. This is a security issue. If you can't prove how decisions were made or whether data was altered, you're not compliant. You're also not secure. For EaglePMX, it's clear. Traceability is a prerequisite, not a feature. When you put it all together, a clear picture emerges. Attacks are becoming faster. Deceptions are becoming more sophisticated. Systems are becoming more opaque. Traditional security is no longer enough. This is precisely where EaglePMX comes in. EaglePMX makes data states verifiable, immutable, even after an attack. Furthermore, EaglePMX ensures that access cannot be reconstructed. This is not just theoretical, but technical.